to the $100 MBA Show, and today is a Q&A Weekends episode where we answer your question right here on the show. If you have a question you want to ask and you want us to answer, you can email us at contact@100mba.net, or you can send me a tweet on Twitter. BizRepublic is my handle, BizRepublic. As always, I'm your host, your coach, your teacher, Omar Zenhom. I'm also the co-founder of the $100 MBA, a complete business training and community online. Make sure you check out our free course and our free guides. We just put up a new guide today on the $100 MBA. You can check that out at 100mba.net. And today's question comes from Ladin. And Ladin asks, what has your experience been working with your partner in life? Very good question, Ladin, because as you all know, Nicole is my business partner and my partner in life, so this is very applicable. I'm going to give you some of my experience, and you might be surprised at some of the answers I give today, but I'm going to give you the honest answer, and hopefully that will help you, Ladin, and help everybody who's listening, who's thinking about working with your significant other. So let's get into it. Let's get down to business. Today's episode of the $100 MBA Show is sponsored by Media Temple. Media Temple has been the web hosting choice of more designers, developers, and creative professionals than any other platform. That's because a single grid account can host anything from your portfolio site to 100 different client projects. And the grid is ready for anything. Hundreds of servers working together to make sure your site is always online, even if you suddenly hit the front page of Reddit. And as a special discount for $100 MBA listeners, use promo code MBA25 to get 25% off web hosting. Just go to MediaTemple.net and enter promo code MBA25 when signing up. So Ladin asks, what has your experience been working with your partner in life? Would you recommend it? Or would you recommend getting an employee instead and keeping your personal life and your business separate? Good question, Ladin. I know a lot of people that are listening might be thinking about incorporating their significant other into their business, whether they're a business partner or having them as an employee. So hopefully my answer to today's question will help a lot of listeners listening. First of all, I got to give a little context. Yes, Nicole is my life partner. She is my partner in business. But let me back up a little bit. Nicole and I worked together previously before we even started our business together. In our professional careers as educators, we worked at the same university. And we had to work very closely together in our department. She was an English teacher, and I was the head of the department at the time, so I was her line manager. And in fact, she still has her classroom observation when I observed her for the first time. It's kind of funny looking back at that now. So we worked together before we even were a couple. And we had mutual respect. I had a lot of respect for who she was as a professional, and vice versa. And we both made the shift into entrepreneurship at the same time. And that also coincided when we became a couple. So when we became a couple, we didn't work together immediately. She was doing her own thing in the film world. She went to New York Film Academy. She graduated. She started doing her own thing. And I was building our business, Business Republic, which later on produced things like the $100 MBA. And then we decided to join forces and work together. Now, I think it really works with Nicole and I for a few reasons. And I think these are pillars we all need to kind of abide by in order to have a great working relationship with your significant other. The first thing is that you have to respect the person as a professional. And that is kind of the rule for any time you're working with anybody, even if you're partnering up with somebody who's not your significant other. This means you have to have mutual respect. She has to respect my opinions. I have to respect her opinions. I got to respect what she can do. And I have to understand that I can't do everything, that she's better at me in certain things and vice versa. And in those things she's better than me, I have to let her have control and let her have the final say. Now, obviously, as partners in business, we discuss a lot of things together, and there's decisions we come up with together. But there are areas in our business that I have to let her do her thing and vice versa. She has to let me do my thing because that's our areas of expertise. So that's the first thing, mutual respect professionally. The second pillar is that both parties have to want the business, have to want to do the business equally. It can't be lopsided. It can't be where one person is like really into it, this is their life, this is what they want to do, and the other person is just kind of tagging along or trying to support the person. I think it works with Nicole and I because we both want this badly. We both are in it together. And I think our relationship has nothing to do with that. I think that Nicole would build a business that's fantastic without me, and vice versa as well. But we're both on board, we both see the vision, or we're both on the same page, as we always say. So, Ladin, if your partner in life sees this as an opportunity for a good job, that's not good enough. And I'm not speaking directly only to Ladin, but everybody who's listening. Because if they're looking for a good job, there's plenty of great jobs out there. they got to want to build something with you. They want to have a legacy with you. And when I'm talking about legacy, I'm talking about a business legacy, a professional legacy. Thirdly, Nicole and I understand the importance of our own relationship, our personal relationship. In business, things can get really hot. Things can get really heated. The pressure is on constantly. You're trying to be better. It can get stressful. And you don't want your personal relationship to suffer. So you need to make time for your relationship. You need to have time to go out on dates, have time to go on vacation together. And when I say time together, I mean just you and the other person. You also want to have fun with your friends as a group and everything. That's great too. But sometimes you just got to step away from the business a little bit and have some just good old time fun. And that could be just a day at the beach or going for a drive or whatever it is. The funny thing is that when we go on vacation, we have the best conversations about work when we're on break. The best ideas come out when we're on break. So it's not like business is off limits. Nicole and I sometimes can't help it because we are so passionate about what we do. We love what we do. And even though we're taking a break from the routine and the actual work, we're still thinking about things. We're thinking about our future and thinking about how we want our business to look and be and feel like. And those conversations are so enjoyable because the pressure's off. You're not making hard decisions. You're making big picture decisions. And it's a great time to just kind of brainstorm ideas and hear from each other. But it's also nice to just talk about life, talk about what you want to do outside of work, whether that's a hobby, whether that's health and fitness, whether that's travel. You want to see some places in the world. What are some plans that you want to do together? So it's good to plan and have time for that, some downtime. Guys, I got one more tip when it comes to working with your life partner, and it's a really important one. But before that, I got to give love to today's sponsor, Skillshare. Join a learning community of over 1 million creators to share your work and collaborate with students around the world. Learn from the best teachers. Teachers like Aaron Draplin, who teaches logo design, or InVision, who teaches web design, or Daniel Krieger, who's a New York Times food photographer. And of course, you can learn business from best-selling authors like Seth Godin, Simon Sinek, and Guy Kawasaki. You can learn at your own pace and watch classes on your own schedule. Learn by doing, create real projects, and get feedback from the Skillshare community. Watch bite-sized video lessons and complete most classes in under an hour. And of course, it's affordable. The monthly subscription gives you an unlimited access to their entire catalog, over 1,000 online classes. And you can learn from anywhere and download classes to watch offline with the Skillshare mobile app. And the app is available on Apple and Android devices. And Skillshare has a special offer for the $100 MBA listeners. Go to Skillshare.com and get 3 free months with discount code MBA at checkout for new customers. Thanks, Skillshare, for your support. Again, guys, that's Skillshare.com. Get 3 free months with discount code MBA. Skillshare.com. Creativity for everyone. The last piece of advice I want to give when it comes to working with your significant other is defining everybody's roles and responsibilities. It's very important for you to know what you're responsible of, especially when you're working with somebody that's close to you. And that can even be a family member, like a brother or sister or son or daughter. Things can get very loosey-goosey very quickly. So it's very important for you to know exactly what your responsibilities are. It's also important to know what the other person's responsibilities are. So you don't put things on their plate that's not their responsibility. So Nicole and I make sure we have these discussions. It's pretty sad, but sometimes we have to reevaluate and change each other's responsibilities. But I know exactly what she is responsible for. I know what I'm responsible for. And therefore things are clear and there's no miscommunication. Of course, we do have to meet and we do have to decide and we do have to discuss these things from time to time. Communication is very important in any relationship, meaning that you're in a business relationship as well as a personal relationship. Just have a general rule that you're allowed to say anything. You're allowed to feel and say what you want to say. Obviously, it's got to be constructive and it's got to be useful. But at the same time, you want to make sure that everybody has a chance to voice their opinion. Guys, that wraps up today's lesson. But if you want to learn more about this topic, we had a dedicated episode called Can You Work with Family? It's episode 264. It's one of my favorites, actually. So check it out, episode 264, Can You Work with Family? Guys, if you enjoyed today's episode, you thought it was beneficial, let us know in an iTunes rating and review. Not only do you show us your support, but it helps us reach new listeners. Here's a review from David Silverman. David says, outstanding, 5 stars. Omar is outstanding, and his podcast is an outstanding contribution to business education. I met Omar in person in Podcast Movement in August 2015 while he was speaking in a Michael Jackson getup. This is true. I was in full Michael Jackson garb. The man knows how to get his point across, not only by being extremely articulate, but also by being a showman of the highest order. 5 stars across the board. Thanks, David, for that awesome review. We really appreciate every single iTunes rating review. We read every single one of them, and it really helps us stay motivated. All right, guys, I want to leave you with this. It's okay to feel tentative when you're entering a new business relationship, whether that's with your significant other, a family member, a friend, or even a complete stranger that you just got to know and might do business with. Doesn't make you a bad person, doesn't make your relationship any less. You just want to make sure you're doing the right thing. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with asking questions, getting advice, and figuring out what's the best way to move forward. So if you're thinking about doing business with somebody that you know, just keep in mind the things that I've mentioned today, the tips I mentioned today, and share them with the person you're thinking about teaming up with. See what they think, see what they say, see if they're on board. If they think, I don't think this is important, maybe it's not a good fit. Got to make sure that you share the same values. All right, guys, I hope it helps, and I hope to see you in tomorrow's episode, another Q&A weekend. I'll see you then. Take care.